exploring the question, is there a need for education for enterprise and embedding this into our Pacific communities. We're always trying to understand the causes and reasons as to why Pacific people are not attracted necessarily to studying business or becoming self-employed and start their own business as a career choice. Also, when people do go into business, Pacific people go into business, why they are not as successful as perhaps our Western or Eastern counterparts. And this is, I find, really interesting given that the islands, many of us come from families where out of necessity we're actually exposed to micro-entrepreneurship. To some degree, we experience this through family-based and community-based enterprises, albeit in the informal sector. Some suggest that essential business skills and the dynamism of technology has a lot to do with this particular situation. If we were to closely examine the likes of Bill Gates and the Asian guy there is Mr. Toyota, who is the founder and owner of the big Toyota multinational company that we all know, we would probably find out that they have been exposed and have had instilled in them from a very young age business skills and entrepreneurial thinking. We understand that we cannot expect the likes of, replicas of Bill Gates and Mr. Toyotas in the Pacific, but what we're suggesting is that perhaps our children need to be exposed at a lot earlier age to the necessary skills of building their own enterprises from in schools. Recent research in the Pacific suggests that, particularly with the recent GEM studies, they've highlighted key constraining factors that contribute to this condition of businesses where Pacific are not necessarily attracted to the space. Fear of failure, access to market, lack of capital and finance, education and training, government policies. These are all key findings that we have drawn from these research studies to suggest that there is a need. Education and training feature strongly as an area of interest and focus, and the people that we have surveyed in these studies are, crying out for more initiatives to come out that are going to support this through education and training. There are elements of business skills being embedded in the school curriculums, but there does not appear to be a comprehensive and longitudinal approach to improve the situation. Here at Unitec, and I stand corrected because this number has gone up, I've just been told from Linda, the total population of Pacific students at Unitec over several years was around about 12% of the total student population. Linda has just told me this morning that this has grown to 18%, so that's fantastic. And but in the business school itself, we're seeing that the numbers have not grown. 12% of our student business, our Pacific business student enrolments are roughly around 12% of our business student enrolments. So, I keep asking myself, why are we not growing in this area? A lot of our students tend to go towards programs that are around careers such as nursing, early childhood education and trades. These are typically very popular for our Pacific students. So the research that I was alluding to about the GEM research, the Pacific were included for the first time between 2009 and 2011, where we were part of an international study that involved around 50 plus countries, where GEM, which stands for the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor, takes a snapshot of these economies that participate in this study, and they look at the adult population and they survey national experts to get some gauge, some idea in terms of the conditions, the general population, their attitudes, perceptions in terms of entrepreneurship, and also the national conditions, whether they're supportive or constraining of entrepreneurship within those countries. So with GEM Tonga, and in this context that we're focusing on today, one of the questions that was posed to the adult population, of which there's 140,000 people in Tonga. We took 1,140, roughly, surveys from that population, and we asked them, in Tonga, is teaching in primary and education, secondary education adequately provided and given the desired attention to entrepreneurship and new firm creation? The population told us quite solidly that they felt that the statement was false, and that the conditions in Tonga did not support this view at all. So this proves to us that there is a need in Tonga to, or a desire in Tonga to improve this condition. In GEM Vanuatu, we studied this particular island in 2010, 240,000 people, of which we took out roughly responses of about 1,100 people for the adult population survey. Vanuatu, across the category that it was in for factor-driven economy, rated the highest TEA ranking. So TEA is the measure that looks at nascent. This is people who are thinking about going into self-employment, and newly established businesses. So this is the group that they in Vanuatu rated the highest in those countries. Also in Vanuatu, we found that they had the lowest survival rate of businesses or people that go into entrepreneurship, or in other words, we had the highest discontinuation rate. Again, education and training is a major focus or a theme that came out that needed some attention. So the opportunities we saw from these two studies in the Pacific was we need to perhaps look at increasing, in fact, we must increase Pacific tertiary enrolments in business. Look at a better ways of accessing business pathways at secondary school level. Cross-sector collaborations with early childhood, primary and secondary schools. Exploring the idea of developing a robust but flexible framework and methodology that will meet all of the criteria of social, economic and cultural. Our group, our strategic intent is to pilot domestically an approach that we would like to adopt, and then look at rolling out or perhaps adapting it to our neighbouring Pacific communities. So why South Auckland? We all know that in South Auckland there's a high density of our people who reside in the South Auckland area, and also economically the highest deprivation territory also in the South Auckland region. Why in South Auckland schools? Entrepreneurship as a community development tool can be seen as really effective. Obviously, economic indicators show a need in South Auckland. Students today should be seen as influencers, as they are obviously tomorrow's leaders. So I'll now hand over to Peter.